Motivation is a consequence of an interaction of the individual and the situation. Motivation is not an individual trait. Therefore, it would be erroneous to say that an employee who is not performing is always lazy. He may not be performing at times because he may not be motivated enough. This lesson gives you the meaning of motivation and helps you in identifying the different motives in the first section. In the second section of this lesson, you will see the different motivation approaches, including significant theories. In the third section of this lesson, we will discuss the different motivational strategies at workplace. We will also see how significant the practices of empowerment, delegation, job enrichment, or participative management are. Let us now look at the meaning of motivation. Defining motivation is not easy, but the most comprehensive and simple definition is that motivation is a process which begins with a physiological or psychological need or deficiency which triggers behavior or a drive that is aimed at a goal or an incentive. The figure given here tries to depict a motivational process. A need is created when there is a psychological imbalance. A drive or a motive is set up to elevate the needs, and an incentive is something that will elevate a need and reduce a drive. Psychologists believe that some motives are unlearned, and physiologically based such motives are termed as physiological, biological, unlearned, or primary motive. Primary does not mean that this motive assumes significance over the other motive. Though some motivation theories talk of the precedence of primary motive, there are several situations where general and secondary motives dominate primary motives. There are a number of motives which can neither be classified as primary or secondary, that can be referred to as a general motive. To be particularly included in this theory, a motive must be unlearned but not physiologically oriented. The primary needs try to reduce the tension or stimulation, but general needs induce the person to enhance the amount of stimulation. So these needs are called stimulus motives. If stifled or inhibited, they may make the entire society very stagnant. General motives, if nurtured with a degree of care, can go a long way in improving the organizational climate. When we said that general motives are important in understanding human behavior, what needs to be remembered is that secondary motives are without doubt the most significant. With social advancement, primary motives and to a lesser degree even general motives have given way to the learned secondary drive in the motivating behavior. A motive has to be essentially learned in order to be called a secondary motive. Let us look at the example of key secondary needs. The achievements drive is one of the most intensively researched drive. Achievement motive can be expressed as a desire to perform in terms of a standard excellence or to be successful in competitive situations. The specific characteristics of a high achiever are moderate risk-taking, need for immediate feedback, satisfaction with accomplishment, and preoccupation with the task. Besides the achievement motive, the affiliation motive and security motive are also important secondary motives. We have seen motivation as a physiological process consisting of different drives. There are several theoretical streams of study of work motivation. The content approach in the study of motivation dates back to the time when pioneering scientific managers like Frederick Taylor and Frank Gilbert offered lucrative and refined models of wage incentives to motivate the workers. Then the human relations movement followed, and then the content approach of Maslow, Herzberg, and Eldorfer. The process models have been a recent addition to these gamut of approaches. A major portion of the work here has been done on the expectancy-based process models, but it is the equity and attribution theories that have received attention. These process models are cognition-oriented, and these models have had the greatest influence on work motivation so far. These two approaches have been recognized independently without any overarching motivation theory to integrate all these approaches. The content theory essentially focuses on finding out what motivates people at work. These theories essentially identified the needs or the drives that people possess and how these drives are prioritized. These theories deal with the types of incentives as well as goals that people seek to achieve in order to remain satisfied and also to perform better. These are static theories and are rooted in time, either past or present. These theories do not predict work motivation or behavior, but still help us in understanding what motivates people at work. Abraham Maslow propounded the hierarchy of needs theory in order to explain what motivates people at work. Based on his clinical experience, he arranged the motivational needs in a hierarchy. On the basic level are the physiological needs, which includes the unlearned primary needs, such as hunger, thirst, sleep, and sex. If a person had satisfied his hunger with food, then he will no longer crave for food and will be motivated by the next level of needs. Safety needs are those needs which are the needs for security, both physical as well as emotional. Again, the same is true of these needs too. The third level of needs is the love needs. This is akin to the affiliation and affection needs. Then we move on to the esteem needs, which represent the higher order needs. These needs include the need for power, achievement, and status. The culmination for all these levels of needs is the level of needs for self-actualization. The pyramid here shows the hierarchy of needs. Herzberg developed a particular content theory of motivation by carrying Maslow's work forward. He conducted a study with nearly 200 accountants and engineers. Based on this study, he concluded that there are motivating factors or motivators and the hygiene factors. The lack or absence of these hygienic factors may lead to employee dissatisfaction, whereas motivators helps an employee perform better and attain satisfaction. Let us look at the table given below for a list of hygiene factors as well as motivators. After that, Clayton Elderfer extended the work of Maslow and Herzberg when he propounded the need category model, which was in sync with the existing empirical evidence. He identified three groups of core needs, namely existence, relatedness, and growth. Pertaining to these needs, this theory is also called the ERG theory. The existence needs are concerned with survival. The related needs place emphasis on interpersonal and social relationships. David McClellan and his associates developed the theory of needs, which concentrate on three needs, namely achievement, power, and affiliation. Need for achievement is the drive to excel to achieve in relation to a set of standards and to strive to succeed. Need for power is the need to make others behave in a way that they would not have behaved otherwise. And the need for affiliation is the desire to forge friendly and close interpersonal relationships. Having its roots in cognitive concepts of Kurt Lewin and Edward Tolman, Vroom's expectancy theory pioneered the expectancy theory models. He built his theory around the concept of valence, instrumentality, and expectancy. By valence, he meant the strength of an individual's preference for a particular outcome. Porter and Lawler redefined and extended Vroom's model in an attempt to deal with the relationships between satisfaction and performance. They start with the premise that motivation is not equal to satisfaction or performance.